Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to first thank you for being here at 6 p.m. right on time. Usually you have to wait a couple minutes. You know how the Miami time is. My name is Andre Mora. I'm a business development consultant here at Prospera. Thank you and welcome so much to our seminar. Today we have Ms. Alexis Fox. She's going to be talking to us about digital marketing and social media strategies for your business. And I'm extremely excited. I took a look at her material before, and I feel even if you're a marketing pro, you're going to learn something today. So thank you so much for coming, Alexis, and thank you everyone for coming. And let's get started. Let's go. Happy Tuesday. Okay, some technical pointers here for everybody. If you can't hear me right now, I am talking. So if you have any issues with your audio, please make sure to switch the audio here. Like with every new operating system, the three dots usually holds the key. And you can go ahead and switch the audio. If you want to call in through your phone, it also has the available option right here. I'll give you the phone number. Also, I'm going to be writing in the chat right now. Give me 1 second. Andre, I can't see. We already have one. Barbara. Good afternoon. Can anybody else hear me? Alexis, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Andre.
Okay, now Barbara can hear me. Perfect. So hi, everyone. This is the chat. Please use this for any concerns or questions. Please don't be afraid to use the chat. We love to hear from you. It makes it a little bit more dynamic, and that way we know we didn't bore you to death. Okay, so please use the chat, and it's right here. And you should have gotten a notification when I sent you guys something. So we want to give a special thank you again to our partners in the economic development department from Miami Beach. We have partnered up with them, and that their support is the reason that we've been able to hold this orientation today. So Mike, I know you're there. Thank you so much again, as always. Love working with you. And a little bit about the work we're doing with them, that we partnered up with them. We're doing some technical assistance webinars and as well as technical assistance consulting. So you guys are part of this program that we're trying to help out as much as Miami Beach businesses as possible, along with all the other businesses that are attending here today. And we've been able to do that, as I mentioned, through the webinars. We've already gone through 1, 2. So 1, 2, we're on the third month of the program. So we're going to be talking about social media, digital presence. We brought Alexis here to work with us today. And we've been able to help multiple businesses already. We've been able to help some with accounting assessments. We've been able to help with some of the services here at Prospera. I think I'm going to talk to you guys soon enough. And if you have any questions about what the Miami Beach is doing for you, you can reach out to Michael Rivera right here. I'm going to put his email on the chat. Rivera at miamibeachfl.gov. You can reach out to him. He also has a wonderful program if you have a business that has been established pre-COVID in Miami Beach. There are grants available through Michael, so please make sure you take advantage of these opportunities that are here in the community for you. Okay. And we want to thank Alexis. We know this one very well, the Miami-Dade Business Navigator. What is Miami-Dade Business Navigator? It's a program that is funded by the SBA to have community organizations like Startup FIU, like Prospera, to work together to help low to moderate income businesses or any business that's here in the community. We're able to help them as well with each of our own specialties, right? That's the cool part about it. So it was established through the American Rescue Plan in 2021. it's regional, it's national, but for regional here in Miami-Dade County, Palm Beach, and Broward as well. So we've been able to help a lot of businesses through here. And what is the SBA Community Navigator Pilot Program? Again, technical consulting, educational seminars. It's focused on businesses owned by veterans, women, economically disadvantaged individuals. So if you can work with you, and really anybody. So we're here to help you. And these are the organizations that we're working with together. Each has its own specialty. Each has its own forte. And I've used it for referring for small business loans, digital. We have through the connection through the Navigator. I was able to invite Alexis here to help us tonight, and a lot of financial consulting with branches. So there's opportunities here, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Okay. And this kind of just re-explains it. So, and here's some more contact information. The YouTube page is my favorite. There's this actual webinar will be recorded on the YouTube page. So if you missed something, please, or just want to go ahead and recap, make sure you go to the YouTube page, Miami-Dade Biz Nav. The recording will be there, as well as on the Miami Beach page. Okay, that's me. That's Alexis. Welcome. Alexis is a program manager at Startup FIU. I am Ander Mora, business development consultant at Prospera. Happy to have you all here. And we want to thank our annual sponsors as well. I call this the Thank You Power Hour because we want to say thank you for everyone. Again, all the services that we have here at Prospera are free of charge for you guys. Thanks to all of these wonderful donations. Okay, so for today, we're going to go through who is Prospera, Prospera Services. We're going to talk about digital. We're going to talk about digital strategies and social media, how you can use social media to help your business. So just to get started, who is Prospera? Prospera is Florida's leading nonprofit. We specialize in providing bilingual consulting services and technical services for any low or moderate income business. Okay. How do we do this? We work with you. What do we do? Best, we work with you. We meet you where your business is at, right? We want to meet you where you are. Let's say you're a startup. How do I incorporate my business? We're here to help you with that. If you've already started your business, we're able to meet you where you are and specialize the services that we're giving to make sure that it helps benefit to get your business to where you want to be, right? If you want to start a business, maybe you just want a side gig, we'll help you get there. If you want to start franchises, we'll find a way to help you get there. If you want to grow your business to eventually sell it off, we'll help you get there. So we want to make sure you don't make the most common errors. We want to make sure that you're going in the right direction. Okay. And we're going to do that through our services. So what are those services? We have business seminars, orientations, which guide new businesses on how to start a business, what are the corporate structures, and we have the specialized workshops that you're in today that we invite someone and we're able to dive deep into business themes, business topics. Okay. We also have business consulting, where there's really not many bullet points because it's really unstructured. Again, we meet you where you are, we see where you're at, we talk about your business, we get to know you, and through that you have now a trusted advisor, a consultant, if you will, that will be able to just take your call and listen to your business ideas, see what's going on with your business, and see how each of these programs are able to help your business grow or stay where it is, or get ready for that next pandemic, for that next natural disaster. If you're living down here in South Florida, there's hurricanes every year. So we want to make sure that your foundations, your business foundations are in place so that we can help you to not only survive, sustain, but also grow, if that's what you're looking for. We also do access to capital. We don't give any loans out. We're not a financial organization. What we do is the consulting around it. So we take a look at your numbers, we take a look at your credit score, and If you're ready for a loan, you're ready for a business loan, we guide you in step-by-step process with the partners that we work with, such as Ascendas, and we go through the whole access to capital piece with you. If you're not ready, if we take a look at your numbers, we have resources available either through referring you to branches, or we'll give you a step-by-step plan to make sure that you get your credit score up to where the programs that we're looking at in the market are at, or to get your numbers to the point where you are able to access a loan and can do so comfortably. And lastly, we have the tools for entrepreneurial advancement. This is Prospera's niche, in which we pay for you to go to a lawyer, to go to an accountant, to develop your logo. So we'll pay for you to go to a specialist to be able to take advantage of those services that are available to every business, but maybe it's a little bit out of your reach financially, or maybe after consulting with Alexis or me, we realize, hey, you weren't really thinking about rebranding. Maybe the new target that you're going for is something that requires a different logo, maybe a different strategy. So that's something that we do here at Prospera, and just it's available for you guys. Okay, and how do we do it? How is this possible? We work a lot with the Hispanic crowd, so whenever you tell them, hey, it's free of charge, they think, oh, ¿cómo? And they're always, especially here in Miami, they don't trust anything that's free. There's always some quid pro quo. No. Thank you to the Thank You Power Hour. We're able to offer all these services free of charge. We are a nonprofit. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Our services are free of charge, thanks to donations from clients that have grown with us, and thanks to the donations from our partners from Miami Beach, from the SBA Navigator, and thanks to the hard work here and all the people that work here at Prospera outside of FIU, we've been able to help a lot of businesses such as these. We've been able to help Vicky's Bakery. La Latina is another one that we work with. 3Cycle, Neo Broadband, and we're able to help them not just in the state of Florida. Here at Prospera, we're growing and we're helping as many people as we can. Okay, now I want to bring in Alexis. Alexis, your time to shine. I'm excited to see what you got for us tonight. We're going to talk about digital media. That's a typo right here. Sorry about that, guys. We're going to talk about social media. We have a typo here. But Alexis, I'm going to let you take it away. Shanti, can you please share the screen with Alexis? Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the introduction, Andre. Thank you, Prospera, for having me. Again, my name is Alexis Fox. I am the programming manager for Startup FIU Local, and a little bit about what we do. We also provide resources and networking opportunity for small businesses as well. We have a number of different accelerator boot camps and incubator programs that are free of charge, that we help to scale, help you to network, help you to understand pitching your small business for future opportunities and endeavors. And we'll get more into that at the end of the presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and share my slides with you all. Okay, so let's dig into digital marketing. We are going to be understanding the foundations of digital marketing and, most importantly, analytics. And what I would love for you all to do is to get a better understanding of the kind of businesses that I'm speaking to. In the chat, please put what kind of business you have, introduce yourself not only to me, but also to the other businesses here. This is also a networking opportunity for you all as well. So this is going to be a very broad overview of the different components of digital marketing. And here are some of the takeaways from today's topic of discussion. We're going to define digital marketing for those of you who may be new to the space. We're going to talk about branding your small business online. We're going to talk about social media and digital marketing tips. We're going to talk about strategies for digital marketing. And we're going to get a better understanding of the analytics that go along with digital media and social media spaces. And then I'm glad to take any questions. As Andre mentioned, you can leave the questions in the chat. So in order to properly define digital marketing, the first thing we need to do is understand it. Then we need to understand some key terms around it, which include search engine optimization, search engine marketing, pay-per-click, and native advertising. And the reason I chose these terms specifically is because as small or micro business owners, more than likely, you are running all the facets of your operation. So these are the key components that are little cost to you, where you won't have to necessarily bring somebody on to do this. These are things you can do yourself. And all of these things employ items that you as a business should already have in place. So it's not extra work for you either. So what is the technical definition of digital marketing? It's a marketing method conducted through electronic devices which utilize some form of a computer. This includes online marketing efforts conducted on the internet. In the process of conducting digital marketing, a business might leverage websites, search engines, blogs, social media, video, email, and similar channels to reach their customers. And this is by definition of the American Marketing Association in 2022. So what I like to do is take that very long definition and break it down into 3 steps. You have a product or service, and you're utilizing a platform, which would be the internet or the social media platform, to reach your consumer base. That's the general definition of it. That's how you break down your digital marketing, and we'll go over these 3 steps as we talk more about it. So the first terms that I want to define for you all is the difference between SEO, which is search engine optimization, and search engine marketing. So SEO improves your ranking within major search engines to increase online traffic. This is the free component. If you already have a website and you have analytics set up on your website, which we'll talk about later on in the slides, you are already optimizing your website without having to pay to do so. Where you rank in optimization depends on a number of different analytics, which I'd be glad to speak to you all about if you have questions about. But for the purposes of this, just understand that this is a free component, and any business that's existing online is already actively in the search engine optimization phase. Now you have search engine marketing. This is a paid online advertisement to increase the visibility of your website. So while you're doing something organic with SEO, this is a paid functionality of that. So this will ensure that you get certain levels of visibility based on your targeting audience. The most frequent and free way to do this is through your Google Analytics and Google AdWords pages. So how, if you wanted to, would you go about doing an SEM? One major way to do it is through a PPC, which is a pay-per-click ad. This is really fundamental for smaller businesses because you only pay when the ad is clicked. So you're paying for that conversion. Now, this is twofold. One, it keeps your budget low because you're only paying when people click. 2, it also gives you a read on how many people are clicking, how many conversions you're getting. Maybe you're not satisfied with the number of conversions that you got. Even though your budget stayed small, you were wanting more engagement from your site, more traffic. Now you have some information that you can use to make informed decisions about your marketing. Marketing is very intuitive. It is not reactive. A lot of people think it is. Even in the digital space, there are ways that you can control and navigate the marketing with the right understanding of what it is that you're trying to do and who you're trying to reach. So let's talk about native advertising. Native advertising involves the blending of marketing materials into one medium. And so this is a more organic way to see what marketing avenues will work best for you and your audience. It also helps you to build a relationship with your target audience as well and understand a little more about them using existing resources. So native advertising, 3 takeaways about it is that it's based on organic content. So you're not having to recreate anything. If you know nothing about ad placement or writing for ads, that's perfectly fine. It's all based on the product or service that you have, what that content that you're advertising is going to look like. The second thing is that the medium should address your audience. So if you're a product-based business and you started a Facebook marketplace, that is the medium that you should be using your native advertising to come from. That means using the photos that you've posted on Facebook. If you have a more website-based product or service, using the testimonial, using the information that you put on your website to create these native advertising, and then adjusting the language to the style and medium. So if you're trying to do native ads on Facebook, it's not going to be the whole about us summary, mission, and vision on your website. It's going to be a clear and concise, readable, digestible caption, followed by a high-res photo or video. Native advertising ties directly into branding your business online. In order to have organic resources, you need to already have some kind of branding or storytelling about your business in your online presence. This is the fundamental key to driving free organic traffic to your website and your social media platform. People need to be drawn to what you are doing, understand your brand, or seeking to understand it with the kind of content that you're putting out. So here are the keys to building that brand recognition online. You need to first understand your target audience. Then you need to be intentional about your messaging, and it needs to be accessible. Your product or service needs to be accessible. What do we mean by that? Let's talk about understanding the target audience first. These are some questions that you should ask when assessing your target audience. What is their predominant location and language? What do they expect from your product or service? And when will they use your product or services? How often are they engaging with your brand? Are you looking for a recurring customer, or is your product more for casting a wide net and having flow traffic of customers? Once you understand those three, you can begin to build a pretty concise target audience, and that will directly affect all of your messaging moving forward. So let's talk about the accessibility of your product or service. Again, is your website easy to navigate? A lot of people, their first digital experience came because of COVID, and they built a website as best they could, or they built their following up on social media. But is it maintained? Is the information accurate? Is the branding the same on your website as your social media if you're utilizing both? Do you have a social media presence at all? If you find that you're getting a lot of traffic from social media, or people are asking you questions or contacting you on social media, that's a key indicator for you to ramp up on that platform. And social media is great because it's free. Most of us are already utilizing it in our personal lives in one way or another, or have utilized it for business in the wake of the pandemic. Take the time to be intentional about your social media presence, because it can not only be a pedestal or a pivoting point for your audience and your branding and services, but also a great teller in terms of insights and analytics, which we'll get into later on in the presentation. And then lastly, is the information on your product and service up to date? Things happen very fast. People are looking for instant, accurate information. Make sure that on whatever platform you're using in the digital space, the information is accurate. It is the first line of contact that people have with your brand. So another very important part of this strategy is called the point of difference. And what that means is you can use your target market to guide your branding. It can help you craft a brand identity that can connect you with your target market and make your company stand out. That is the point of difference. It is the uniqueness that sets your branded product or service apart from the thousands of others in the market. So a great example of that is we met just yesterday with a company that produces tanning lotions. In Miami, that's pretty common. People like to tan here either naturally or artificially. But what set his product apart was the fact that it's paraben free. He uses it specifically to raise awareness around melanoma and skin cancers, and it's already dermatology approved in its stage. Those are points of difference that will separate his product from other tanning products on the market. There's a messaging there that's unique and that he can use towards his branding to target a very specific audience. People who want to tan but cannot tan in the sun. People who like to use organic products or are hypoallergenic. Those are the kind of markets you create when you create a point of difference. And the beauty of those kinds of markets is they are not necessarily worried about price point. They are worried about quality of life and product. So think about ways as we're going through this presentation that you can tailor your point of difference to where the quality is the value driver and not the price point. So now we understand generally terms around digital media. We understand a little bit more about target audiences and how they are cultivated, the ways that you can cultivate them at little to no cost in time or money. And now I want to talk about one of the best free tools for digital marketing, which is social media. I'll give you some tips on how to navigate that. So again, all of the strategies that I picked here are free strategies. They are resources that are readily available to anybody who has access to social media, or they are cost efficient where you can really control your budgeting with it while getting an understanding of your audience. So the first is to streamline your content. The second is to use social media as a form of customer service, to be inclusive in your social media, to target local, and also to build social media communities. And we'll go through each of these. So streamlining your content. This has been something that I've been alluding to throughout this presentation when we talk about branding and having brand recognition. It's choosing high quality photos or designs, writing effective copy, tailoring that copy to each platform. Social media versus a website, you can be a little bit more detail oriented on a website, whereas social media, the attention span is a little bit shorter. Some of the social media platforms have character limitations that you need to be aware of, but the messaging should always be the same. Uploading of content. So if you have existing content that you can use, maybe you made a commercial or a welcome video for your website, upload that on your social media as well. If you're already getting engagement in one platform, there's nothing wrong with making sure that that information is accessible to all of your platforms. Connect with your followers. That's that engagement piece. That's that frequency. How often do I need to be engaged? Am I engaging enough? And then choosing to use testimonials. The best friend of a small business is word of mouth, always. It's a great way of ambassadorship. Again, it's organic content. And one thing about social media is people want to share. People love to build community on social media. People love to have their items reposted. So if you as a business are reposting one of your customers or posting a partnership, there's a level of ownership that they've now taken because they've been recognized. So let's talk about social media as a form of customer service. Consumers have increasingly made social media platforms their go-to channel for customer service issues, and marketers have been adopting accordingly. People will go to social media to say great things about your business, but also to say bad things about your business. The beauty of social media is you have that instantaneous access. It's at your fingertips. We're on it already. If you've set up push notifications for it, you can also automate messages now on Facebook and Instagram so that there's an instant response. In any customer service, even in traditional versus the digital, people want to be recognized. They want to be acknowledged, even if it's just as simple as saying, thank you for this call, somebody will reach out to you. Those are the kind of messagings that you can tailor for that instantaneous customer touch. Andre, did you raise your hand? Are you raising your hand?
Yeah, I just thought that was a great point there, that you can kind of use that, utilize that to make it your point of difference. I'm sure, Alexis, you've seen the social media pages from Slim Jim, Wendy's, that they start these banner wars and Twitter wars. So that could definitely be something you can do, a little controversy to add to that point of difference to your brand, that engagement.
Right. And I wouldn't suggest going the Wendy's and Slim Jim route, but a great example of that is AT&T. Their customer service line is actually their Twitter account. So you don't need to go through one of those chat bots or the automated message where you're sitting and waiting for the bubbles to stop, right? And you're having to upload things. If you at AT&T on Twitter, they will start a correspondence with you. So that's a more productive way to do it in terms of using it as a customer service base. But yes, as an engagement and marketing tool, Absolutely. Have fun with it. You're using it already. It's your business. It is personal to you. And so you can be creative and add your own personality to it, of course. So let's talk about inclusivity of your content. This is a really important piece because of the current social climate that we're in today. People want to know that they're buying products that support them, that they are buying into businesses that see them and recognize their needs outside of being a consumer. And consumers want support from companies that are inclusive and take a stand about important issues. As a small business owner, make sure that your social feeds are inclusive and welcoming to all customers. And one thing that I tell a lot of people who feel like maybe this is a little polarizing or that it's not part of their personal beliefs is being inclusive doesn't mean being specific. Keep it general, welcoming to everyone, cast a wide net. No need to break down to the specifics unless you're specifically asked. Do all of the national holidays, do all of Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. It takes nothing to post those if that's the kind of consumer base that you want. If you do a holiday-based product, if you do a product that sells better in the holidays, or you provide a service during tax season, which starts in January, right after the holiday, you need to be posting happy everything. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, all of it. It takes nothing to do that. It says nothing to not to, it doesn't say anything negative about you that you're being inclusive of all of the holidays, right? Just something to think about as you utilize your content. This is also content that can be easily scheduled out and sourced. It's not something that you have to create, right? Think about how gracious it would be to a consumer if you sent an e-blast out that covered something that maybe no other business has ever covered or acknowledged for them. Then we talk more about point of difference and about native advertising, right? You could even embed tips for your business, tips on utilization for your service, right? In these kind of organic ways that make people feel good and make people feel seen. So let's talk numbers about the power of perception. 67% of consumers believe that brands that are effective at raising awareness on important social and political issues when use their social media, they find those brands to be more effective. They trust those brands. Why? Because they're acknowledging what's going on in everybody's lives. So this comes from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce as well in February of 2022. So this is a recent percentage here. So think about that as you're looking to target your audience, about the way that your brand is being perceived online. It's very important. So we'll talk about local targeting as well. We talked about the inclusivity, casting the wide net, but if you have a niche or specialty product, then you are able to do some local targeting for little to no cost on social media. Veronica, I did see your question. I'm going to get through the slide and then I'll address it. So small businesses can cultivate more brand awareness by being involved in your community and creating location-specific content that can help you build your brand awareness and attract a new audience in your area. One thing about Miami is that the landscape demographically is ever-changing. The kinds of businesses that existed in certain parts of Miami no longer exist there anymore. But if you're trying to target that area still, or that's your demographic, then you need to tailor your messaging to make sure that they're able to see you and engage with you and make the decision about your business. And I'd like to see her question here.
I got you, Alexa. I'll read it out loud.
Perfect. Thank you.
No problem. So we had Veronica say, what about if your business is not yet established? How do we substitute the absent client's feedback because your business is new in the market with no long trail? Do we highlight the uniqueness and quality of our product to attack power of perception? Thank you. No.
That is a great question. And I want to make sure that I'm understanding to answer it properly. So you're a new business and you're saying you don't necessarily have clientele or brand recognition set up yet, but you want to establish it. This is where the storytelling comes in. This is where that streamlining of content comes in, especially because you're starting from the ground. You can make sure that your content and your message is succinct to the audience that you're trying to get. When we talk about existing small businesses, they're looking for retention and new audiences. They're looking to retain the audiences that they either inadvertently or strategically acquired. You get to fish from a full pond. And local targeting would actually be great for a new business starting out. You're cultivating brand awareness. It's the key to this portion of the social media tips. So when you go into your platform and you start to do a paid ad or you start to create a post, make sure you tag your location. When you go into your insights, you can see how many people engage with you from that location. You can see what time they engaged with you. If you're doing it on Instagram, once you hit 200 followers, you have access to general insights, which includes demographics like age, race, gender, and location. Those are all free to you once you hit 200. And we talked about some tips about content earlier. Make sure that it's attractive content. Make sure that you're choosing photos that are appealing. If you've made a website, there are graphics on that website. Utilize those photos on social media. Tailor captions to it. If you've made a short video to describe a demo of how to use your product, put that in your Instagram reel. Repost it on TikTok. Use the information on your site as tips or did you knows. That's all information that people seek on social media. Now, at first, social media was vanity. It was, when it first started to really bloom, it was about the content, it was about the visual. Now, people want gratification. They want to walk away knowing, feeling, or learning something from the content. And so as a business owner, because it's your job to make sure that people understand your product, you have built-in content already. It's just about taking the time to understand where it belongs, who it's reaching, and the best way, the best tool to combine those two. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay, I think we're ready to move forward, but Alexis, great point that you were making earlier was, and I want to make one more, is to make sure you're up to date with all the features that are coming up. Because one of the things that you mentioned was adding a welcome video to your Instagram or whatever, or Facebook that you have on your website. Instagram newly came out with a pin feature, which I think would be a fantastic place to place a welcome video or an educational video or something that just explains who you are as your story that really explains your brand. So keep aware of the new
Absolutely, yes.
features and go ahead, Alexis, sorry.
No, I'm in complete agreement with you. Absolutely keep up with the new features of your platforms. It's really important just so that you're utilizing it and optimizing what's working. So as I just discussed with the trends, it used to be more photo luxury, more about perception. Now it's more about what I can get from the information on your site. So thank you, Andre. Yeah, that's a great point. And to that point, the most important part of your social media is building up the community. Groups and communities on social media platforms allow for like-minded users to converse with one another. This is that brand ambassadorship, that portion. So if you don't have customers yet, the people who are coming to your page are coming for something. And they're conversing with each other, they're referring each other. People are referring to your page if they're reposting your product. That's the kind of community you want to build because that creates engagement and nurtures leads. And it leads to more trust of your brand and increased loyalty. So that's just a broad for social media usage. These are the general things that you can do, again, at little to no cost as a small business owner across the platforms. So keeping it very broad for this one. Not really sure what platforms you all are utilizing. It's different for everybody. Every business does not need every platform. Let's say that again, every business does not need every platform. You are making more work for yourself if you do it that way. So these are just some general takeaways that you can apply to any platform that you're utilizing. And so with that, I do want to talk a little bit about digital marketing strategies. So that's the combination of your SEO, your native ads, your social media marketing. How do you place those? How do you prioritize them? How do you know if they're working? We're going to cover a little bit of that. So again, I picked 5 that I feel are easy for small businesses to do either on their own or with limited staff and resources. So the first is to optimize your website for mobile. Second, create a Google My Business listing. Third, create a reliable email list and leverage email marketing. Fourth is to start a blog and incorporate content marketing into your search engine strategy. That is going to be key. That's a combination of native advertising and that SEO. And we'll talk about that as we go on. And then the underlier of this entire presentation, responding to that online feedback quickly, using your social media to create that instant engagement, acknowledging your consumer so that they understand that they're valued by you. So let's talk about optimizing your website for mobile. I only want to hear from the people in the chat who don't have a cell phone. Nobody doesn't have a cell phone. Everybody is accessing mobilely on their iPad, on their Galaxy tablet. There's no doubt about it that mobile marketing has become more relevant than ever, with more and more consumers browsing and making purchases using their smartphones or tablets. Consumers are looking for instant gratification in a buy. Making sure that your website is accessible on mobile is one of the most important portions of digital marketing. If you have a website that is not optimized for mobile, go to your provider, wherever you set up that website, and make sure that it's able to be accessible on mobile. If you're using Wix or Shopify or any of those third-party platforms to host your website, it's an option that you simply click. And so that is something that I will always advise to everybody. You just never know who doesn't know. The second thing is to create a Google My Business listing. One of the simplest and free digital marketing tips we can share is to create Google My Business listing. If you're unfamiliar with this listing, you simply perform a Google search of a business, and this is how it appears. So if you've properly set up your listing, you not only get the optimization of the details of your business, you can also pick which links you want to appear, your website, directions to your business, and if you have Google reviews, you can get the ratings here as well. So this is what we talk about when we talk about that organic SEO. This is a free service that will help optimize your business through Google, one of the most widely used search engine platforms around. I'd venture to say the widest used. Did we have a question? Did we have a question there? No? You have a question? Okay, go.
No, that was me. I'm sorry. I was putting on the chat for everyone. No, I go over this with every single one of my clients. One of my first questions is, do you have a Google My Business? No. Why? Do you want to be on Google? It's kind of the first thing that you should do if it works with reviews. Sorry.
Yes, when we talk about streamlining, this is streamlining personified. Again, a great way to optimize. We all know and trust Google with our lives. How many of us have Googled, medical conditions, anything? This will help legitimize your business with a few simple steps. Oops, sorry, I went back too far. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about email marketing. Email marketing is not dead. It is not. Okay, you can leverage email marketing if you understand your audience and the content that you're sending out to them. You first need to build a reliable email list. You can start collecting information about existing and potential consumers and customers from your social media platforms, from your website, and you can also create monthly newsletters or sending out regular messages with special offer, news, and discounts. Email is a great tool for native advertising. We've already given a couple examples with the holiday example about how to leverage this list. For those who are just starting out on a platform, if you have some sort of subscription or survey, ask for emails. The beautiful thing about a reliable email list is that it's your data. It's your data. You do with it what you want. You can check frequencies. You can test out different forms of email content. And the best thing about it is you can get instant feedback on your product. If somebody's purchasing your product and they provide you an email address, send a short survey. Send a thank you incentive, free coupon for the survey. Keep the engagement going because that's how you create additional sales. So another example of that would be to make a blog in order to use it as part of your marketing strategy. So when I say a blog, I'm not asking you to necessarily start a Tumblr or anything like that. Blogging is just a general term for a way to communicate information online, clear and concise, kind of like an article, but it doesn't have to be anymore. On your blog, you can write about topics related to your business, showing your expertise, providing helpful information, both of which will drive people to your website as well as help optimize your search ranking. So what I mean by that is this: if you already have listed on your service site, if you provide a service, about the things, the steps that you need to take to build your service, right? If you already have that listed out, you can turn that into a blog post. 5 strategies for credit repair. Make sure that each strategy is a call to action back to your website. To learn more about how to get your annual free FICO score that the government provides to us for free, click here. You want the traffic back to your website. Traffic back to your website increases search engine optimization. The more people are clicking through and converting on your website, the higher your optimization organically is. So imagine pairing those organic rankings using your blog and then adding a paid SEM, a paid ad on your blog for your site. That's how you drive traffic. That is how you use digital marketing strategy intentionally. You have not had to recreate anything. It's information that you not only know, but you're an expert as it's your business. And now it's serving you 3 different ways. And this is a quote that I love to share. This is from the CEO of CorpNet, Anelia Kaup. CorpNet is one of the largest digital forums that are around. And she says that our digital marketing efforts took a turn for the best when we implemented strong content marketing efforts across the board. If you're looking to boost your online efforts, try starting a blog for your business. Play with your keywords and optimize for SEO, and even tap into industry influencers to contribute, post, and share with their communities. This encompasses everything that we've talked about in terms of digital marketing efforts. It talks about the quality of content. It talks about the importance of community. It talks about SEO and ways to optimize from a blog post or an email or even an Instagram post. The key here is that implementing strong digital and content-driven marketing can, in fact, improve your business. And lastly, we'll talk about that response time. So you're getting all of this engagement now, right? Because you've implemented these steps. Nothing is perfect. People will have questions. People will have feedback for you. You need to be prepared to respond to online feedback quickly. The internet doesn't disappear. Even if you delete, archive something, somebody has screenshotted or it's living on somebody's server, somebody's network somewhere. Customer service is a crucial part of digital marketing and can be the determining factor in attracting and retaining customers. So if your business runs on a recurring customer, that this product needs to be purchased or used on a monthly, bi-monthly basis, you need to make sure that you're responding to feedback quickly. How do you do that? By understanding which platforms best serve you. Goes back to my messaging. Do not need every social media platform. You do not. If your product is service-based and more of an application, maybe not Instagram. Instagram is high-res photo, video. Maybe Twitter, better for your product. You can use links, click-throughs to your blog, click-throughs to your email subscription, click-throughs to survey. It's a little bit more link-friendly if you're looking for a quick conversion. If you have a retail product or a food and beverage product, Instagram and Facebook under Meta is a great tool for you to utilize. And there's also really good customer feedback. They build out their own business page for you, similar to my Google business page, where you can list your hours, the link to your website, and also create an automated message when you do get messages or comments or feedback outside of your operating hours. So we've talked about strategy. I hope you all found that information helpful. I know it's a lot to take in and a lot to think about, but The more you understand and become familiar with these different strategies and apply them to the platforms, the better you'll get at understanding your audience, tailoring your messaging, and also reaching directly to your consumers for that buy. So let's talk about the analytics. You've done all of this strategizing. You're starting to see some boost, but you want to benchmark. You want to know exactly where you are and maybe retool where you need to go. And so understanding digital analytics is very essential. The bottom line to analytics is that they give you instant feedback on how your company is performing across social media channels, whether the strategy or your teams are executing something effectively or if things need to change. So what are some of the benefits of the analytics? One, it helps you understand your brand perception. And brand perception is critical for social media interactions as it can quickly change from positive to neutral or to negative, as we've discussed in a couple different ways here. Next, it helps you identify your consumers' needs and fuels production ideation. What this means is that insight and analytics will help you to identify unarticulated needs. Your consumer may be engaging and not even articulating to you or commenting on what other things they need from you as a product or service, or you may be able through engagement to identify a need. How great would that be? And it also helps you create current value systems and to know more about your existing competitors in any industry. It says food and beverage, but you can promise you any industry. It'll help you understand those existing competitors. It also helps you be more creative in your content strategy and campaigns. Once you've identified those platforms where most of your consumers are, where you've built that social media community and they're interacting, you can measure the campaigns with core KPIs and understand the shifts and how those shifts impact your sales. And lastly, it improves the overall customer experience. More than 80% of the customer interactions are automated and digitized. We've talked about how AT&T effectively uses Twitter. We've talked about how important it is to have a quick response to online feedback specifically. It just makes your customer feel valued. So how do we make the most out of the internet with these digital analytics, right? We need to measure your return on investment and prove your marketing impact. This is going to be good information for you. Also, if you're looking to partner, this is great information to take as a small business into a meeting. If you're more service-based, if social media influencing is a business, brand partnerships are a business in and of themselves. When people see that you're able to effectively reach markets on digital platforms, it makes you attractive to work with. And also tracking that efficiency of your marketing will save you a lot of trial and error when it comes to allocating marketing dollars. So how do we do that? You can measure your ROI and prove your marketing impact by using the right tools. And here are some tools that work well across our digital marketing platforms. So adding a Facebook tracking pixel to your website, key pages, will let you see how many people have interacted with your Facebook ads, which you can set the price. It's another form of PPC, and which ads led to actual conversion. So here, it's taking you through the consumer journey. It's telling you this person at this time, this age, with these interests, clicked on your ad, and then went from your ad and clicked on something on your website. So if it's product-based, if you're a jewelry line or some kind of product, if you know that women between the ages of 25 and 27 who live in the Miami area really like this bracelet, and they're clicking on it from that paid ad. Maybe you do a post about the hottest bracelets for the summer, and it's all click-throughs to your product. You do an e-blast, you do a blog, or you reach out to an influencer and have them model your bracelet. You get to choose those kind of avenues simply from the tracking pixel from Facebook, from the tracking pixel from any social media really, but they are really good about giving you leads and conversions on your ads. The next one is the Google Analytics UTM parameters. If you do not have Google Analytics set up on your website, shame on you, okay? To your social media ads, you can use the URL to understand how much traffic and how many conversions your social media marketing activities are driving to your site. So this really gets to the nitty-gritty of it. And I will say, this is for the more experienced digital marketer, because it can be overwhelming to look at a Google Analytics spread. And if you didn't build your website, it's very difficult to understand where to put your UTM and how to read that information. So if you're just starting out and you're trying to understand more and you want to, I would stick with the Facebook tracking pixel. If you have someone dedicated to your marketing or have resources for a digital analytics person or Google Analytics specialist, I would definitely encourage you to take the time and set up some UTMs on your website. Also, if you're interested in learning about Google Analytics, they offer free classes through Google University. The last thing is just to familiarize yourself with the Insights tab on your social media accounts. That is the easiest way. If you set up a business profile on Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn, they give you free analytics that we've discussed throughout this time. Those analytics are pretty general, but they're still really good. It talks about the analytics of your captive audience. It'll even suggest for you times to post and ways to give you more exposure to the audience, as well as giving you the option to tailor your insights to your needs. So maybe you want to reach outside of your audience. Maybe you're looking to cultivate more engagement for the existing followers that you have. That Insights tab is your friend. It's easy to understand. A lot of the time it's in graph form, so it's easy to read. It's just a great thing to familiarize yourself with as you're getting started. And because those platforms are ever changing, it's good to go in there every once in a while and see what's new. So we're tracking our marketing efficiency, and the way we're doing that is through the analytics. And this allows you to identify the trends in all of the areas of your business. So each customer's journey is different, but tracking insight can streamline this individual data into a clear area of improvement and metric for success. So the key areas for digital analytics vary between the digital platforms. I chose to focus specifically on web and social media, as again, these are the free resources that most small businesses have. For web, you need to be paying attention to your audience as a KPI, the performance of your website, which is the efficiency of it, how fast it's going, how long people are spending on your site, what pages they're spending the most time on. Go to your competitor sites, see what they're doing well, see what you're doing better than them. It's always great to understand your marketplace. Sentiments is your reviews. So see what people are saying about your website, about your business, and then customer service is key. Make sure that if there are any questions, that you're answering them in a timely manner. And for social media, the paid ad analytics are a great tool. If you're partnering with influencers, get their data as well, because it's not just your audience, it's also their audience that's being impacted or engaging with your content. Reach, which is something that's given for free across all the social media platforms. If you set up a business account and you post something, if you log in as your business, you'll see the reach of each post and the engagement, which is also very important if you're talking about making sure that you're engaging with your social media community, and also making sure that people are feeling seen and understanding your brand. Engagement is very important for them. And these are all things that are trackable on the social media side for free for the most part, outside of the paid analytics. These are things that are trackable for free within your business account. So for web analytics specifically, I just want to drill down on this because it's really important to understand your metrics. You can do all of these things, but if you're not able to assess what you've done, there's no real growth there for you as your business. So what are the metrics that you need to consider for website analytics? There's no catch-all package. It's going to be different for each product, each service, but there are some that are more nuanced that provide really valuable insight, and we'll talk more about those. You need to understand the importance of context, which is understanding that user behavior is individualized. What matters is that your team knows your audience and can track and empathize with their journey. So again, we're talking about that consumer journey and that buying cycle. And the last thing is the power of perception. The most forward-facing insight is a review. Nothing can harm you or help you more than a customer's insight on your product. Are you raising hand? Oh no, you're turning on lights. So here are the metrics to consider for your website. The organic search traffic. Organic search results land the user in 94% of the time. Google Analytics provide information regarding keywords that lead to your site. Look specifically to build general keywords, an indication that traffic is generated through relevant content and the perception of trustworthiness. That's that My Google Business page. That My Google Business page gives you instant validity. If they're on Google searching for a laundromat or a shoe store or a restaurant, they trust the results of that. Showing up on Google is instant. It takes little to no resources. If you've already built your website, you should have SEO presence. Secondly is the top landing pages. This metric looks at what pages are greeting your customers. These pages should be optimized, both in terms of the load time and the copy on the page. The average attention span of an adult now has decreased. It used to be 90 seconds, went down to 45. Now it's between 15 and 30 seconds. You have 30 seconds to capture your audience. 30 seconds. 30 seconds to capture your audience. It's yes, wow, Veronica. 30 seconds to capture your audience and engage your readers and lead them to figure out browsing or sales conversion. How many of you have ever went to a site fully expecting to engage with it? You went there on purpose and the site was horrible to navigate. If you've ever tried to go to a restaurant website during COVID and navigate for online ordering, or just to find out their hours of operation, those are the things that can turn a customer just that quickly. Make sure that your top landing pages are the stars. Make sure that it's the information that people want and need in order to complete a transaction or in order to engage with your product and service. And what is going to dictate that? Your target audience and their consumer journey through your digital platforms. So super important. It all works together. Lastly is segmentation. As we connect globally, Veronica, I see your question, and I'm going to get to it. As we connect globally, your consumer grows with each segment of audience, and we all have different needs. Google Analytics will allow for the filtering of analytics of user behavior based on the characteristics that are set by you. The traffic source, which would be your website, that is set by you, and the keyword search. We live in a global community now. We have access and people have access, if you have a website or social media, to your product that are outside of our time zone even sometimes. It's really important to understand and make sure that you're not missing out on an audience, right? Because you're not meeting their needs. Maybe if you do a sale, if you do some kind of annual sale or flash sale, it's important to know those analytics to see what time to launch it for the West Coast, what time to launch it for your European audience. These are things that we have to, in a global economy, be cognizant of and take advantage of. And I saw Veronica had a question.
Yes, it was, we were talking about the attention span of adults that is 30 seconds now.
Mm-hmm.
So her question was pertaining, would quick links in my website, would they work for that?
Absolutely. Quick links in your website will work for that. And yes, it's a 30-second attention span, but it's not 30 seconds and they disappear. It's 30 seconds on that one item. So if you have a quick link that's attached to a GIF, an animated graphic, or a B-roll of, if it's a bakery, a B-roll of cinnamon rolls and honey buns, or something that's appealing to your audience, they're more likely to engage again. They're more likely to re-click. They're more likely to keep scrolling. You can create the customer journey on your website. So maybe one quick link is, hey, as soon as they get on your site, they're engaged. If they want to know more, they need to enter their email address. Why? Data collection. That's utilizing that email functionality to go and reach out to them. So even if they log off your page after they do that, hi, so-and-so, thanks for visiting the page. Here's some things that you may have missed, right? There's always a way to create that touch point instantly. A quick link is a great way to do it. It just needs to be the right quick link. So if somebody's coming to your page, no problem, because they need to know your hours of operation. You see, that's a question that you get a lot. When are you open? Where are you located? Top of the page, header. A lot of people put their contact information at the footer of a website. Scrolling header, top of the page, clickable from multiple points. Just make the messaging different. Have your Google Map right on the side. You can embed your Google Maps right in your website. Those are some things that you can do. You can get really creative with it. Okay. We've understood a little bit more about overall analytics, what we should be thinking about in terms of our KPIs, what things we can actively watch for on our websites and our social media that can help us to read more on our customers and use those insights. So now we need to align those things with our brand. Just like not every social media platform is for every business, not every analytic is important, especially to you as a small business with limited resource and limited time. You need to make sure that the things that you're focusing on will have a positive impact on your business. So the main three are engagement, frequency, and conversion. Engagement obviously focuses on reviews, responding to comments, questions, ambassadorship of your brand. Frequency is geofencing, which we didn't really get too much into, but the target automated posts, this is those targeted ads, routines, and if you have a website that's set up for backlinks, that's one way to track frequency, making sure that people are able to instantly engage with your product or service. Your page is easy to navigate. And then lastly is that conversion, which is streamlining your digital shop or your digital product with paid ads, boost, and search engine optimization, okay? That's gonna get them from browsing your site to making a purchase, to booking an appointment, to inquiring for more. Or maybe as a startup, as a starting business, like Veronica's, maybe the conversion is click and then sign up, gather an email address, collect the data. So I want to talk a little bit more about just the social media analytics on their own and break down for you which of the more popular are best for analytics. So social media analytics help to research trends for product development, optimize product portfolios, and discover new opportunities, as we've discussed throughout this presentation. So I love this table. It's free analytics on social media. So I talked a little bit about it earlier, but here's like the real breakdown so you can see based on engagement, reach, and insights, depending on where you're at with your business and what you need, which channels are best for it. So I don't have LinkedIn listed here because they are still pretty new in their ad game. And I personally haven't found the insights to be more helpful than Facebook. Facebook with Meta, and because it's streamlined and is joined with Instagram, gives you, I feel, the most accurate in terms of your engagement. So high engagement rate depicts that your message resonates well, that the things that you're posting, your audience is engaging with, and it's a symbol of popularity and quality. When people get high engagement rate, it makes brands, it makes other people look at them. It also boosts you in the algorithm, which is going to prove profitable for your small business. So in the same way that having that Google visibility helps your SEO, engagement helps your overall SEO, overall searchability, overall visibility through social media. But Facebook is the best indicator if you're looking to insights. for engagement. For reach, let's talk about what reach exactly is. It indicates how far your message has reached, which is measured by your followers, subscribers, impressions, and traffic data. And it gives you an idea of the potential if you were to do a paid campaign. The top channel for that is Instagram. Instagram measures followers. The algorithm is based on followers and how they engage. Now it's based on the save tab on Instagram. So if people are saving your post to collection, it's a little tab that looks like a ribbon that's at the far right. I should have added a picture of it here. There's a little tab on the far right. If your posts are being saved more, that helps further you in the algorithm. And if you notice, when you do a post on your business page on Instagram, the first thing that comes up is a little button that says boost. They're always looking to have you boost your posts. If you understand your reach, you can more accurately decide which post to boost. Again, that's streamlining. You don't have to go and create an ad. You don't have to go and generate messaging for it. It's taking existing content and reaching it beyond your audience. Lastly is insights. Insights are more qualitative measurements that include demographics such as age, race, and gender. We've discussed this throughout this presentation. Both Facebook and Instagram have really great free insights because they're all joined under Meta. It's the same company. They use a lot of the same data, and the algorithms are pretty similar. So it's a great tool for you to get familiar with. If you are already existing on these platforms, these are free tools. It's clear and concise. You can also download the reports and export them as well if it's something you want to digest a little further. But it's a great free tool, and it's qualitative as well as quantitative because they do give percentages and they narrow down to time frames and how many people are engaging. How many people are you reaching? So it's a great snapshot if you're new to social media analytics. And those are the free. We're going to talk about paid. Leads are generated most successfully through MetaSuite, which is the new Facebook business profile, right? And it's how much profit a social media campaign can earn for your brand. Higher leads boost brand credibility. What I love about the Facebook version of this is that you can create your lead to be as engaging as you need it to be. So maybe for you, the lead is that you need phone numbers because you're doing calls, or you're more customer service based service. You can generate it so that they fill out for a phone number. If you're doing more email based, you can make sure that your leads capture an email address as well. If you want to increase your following on a sister platform or on another social media platform, you can have people add their handles when you generate those leads. The second is conversion, which indicates the social media channel brings in what you want it to. If you get more conversions from a specific platform, try investing more in that particular section instead of creating campaigns across the platforms. Facebook is a great starting point for conversion. Why? Because it has all of the facets of each of the platforms. We talked about the fact that Twitter is not really made for graphic, it's more made for links, call to action, click-throughs, whereas whereas Instagram is more made for content, high resolution content. Definitely nowadays, way more video than stills. Way more video content as they're trying to keep up and compete with TikTok than still photos. But still, if you want high resolution photos to post, you're posting them on Instagram. Facebook is great because you can do a combination of both. It allows you to have call to action, click through links in your caption. You can repost stories. So let's say your business was featured in an article. You can repost the article with a high res photo of your product. You can repost your blog post as an organic post on your Facebook. So it's a broader way to generate those conversions without having to think too much about the content, right? And that's what we're looking for here, really. As a small business, we need to have a level of ease and convenience. And when you do that, it also keeps everything uniform. It keeps the content uniform, the quality of the content uniform, and the messaging the same as well. And lastly is just benchmarking in general. If you are at another level of your digital marketing where you're budgeting somebody to handle it, or you're getting to that point or you're feeling more confident doing it, then benchmarking is the best way to do your performance metrics. And you need to view them in a competitive context. That's where analytics with benchmarks come in. That's where your Google Analytics will come in. That's where your paid UTM tags, when you're looking at your analytic data in a more thorough way, then you can go through benchmarks to do that. So that is the end of the presentation. I do want to leave you all with just some key points as we wrap up here. One is that digital marketing is a mix. I know Andre said social media, but they all really work hand in hand in a lot of ways as you're trying to get the most use of your content and your resources. The next is that analytics are accessible. You don't have to be a marketing genius to understand your analytics. You just need to be making sure that you're using the proper platforms and familiarizing yourself with the analytics on that platform. Thirdly is to be flexible with the platforms and strategies that you implement. Analytics are there to tell you what worked and didn't work. You have to be malleable. You have to be willing to make changes and pivot, as your audience will change too, as things have been ever changing for the last 2 years. Social media is also a free advertising and analytics tool. You can utilize social media to advertise your business. And lastly is that customer insights are analytic data. They are just as qualitative and just as important as your demographic data and any other analytic from an insight. Listening to your customer is key to understanding your product, where your product is going, and the needs of your audience. Thank you. I'm glad to take any questions from you all.
Okay, so far, nobody.
Okay, no problem.
Let me just. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So if you all do have any questions or want to see more about the resources that we offer at Startup FIU Local, please follow us. We are Startup FIU Local on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I know I broke my own rule, but I don't, it's my job. And we love to engage with you on any of them as well. So please make sure you follow us. If you scan the QR code, it'll take you to our campsite. We've got some great resources that are already up and running. We have a BOA bootcamp that's accepting applicants. If you're a startup or a small business and you're in Miami-Dade County and you're looking for some assistance, either finance, network, understanding your unique proposition or your point of difference, then please make sure that you inquire about us. Okay, we're here to help.
Absolutely.
Thank you again, Andre. Thank you, Prospera. I really appreciate it.
Of course, Alexis, that was a wonderful presentation. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and give us this wonderful information. And I'd be remiss, we've all gone through a crazy couple of years, and when it comes to pandemic, and we saw how the people that were prepared, were able to take advantage of these tools. Sometimes I have business with some of my clients that they come in and say, "Oh, I mean, marketing is a cost. It's a cost," and it's really not. It's an investment for your business. You take the time to create the post. Time is money. We all know that as business owners. You spend sometimes you don't even need to spend the money. Alexis showed us that we can use these tools that are free and available to use for all of us to be able to create that community engagement, to create that free insight, that free marketing analysis that can help make or break our businesses, whether to grow or if we have a pandemic, be able to have a community to rely on to say, hey, our store is closed, but you can order through Uber, you can order through some other platform that we've developed. So, the time isn't when the pandemic hits to start putting your stuff on social media. The time to start investing in your business is today. So I'm so happy you guys were able to make it. And again, thank you so much, Alexis. And Shanti, if you could give me the share function again, I'll just have a couple more points to give you guys. And thank you again, Alexis.
You're
Which is-
welcome. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And da-da-da. Perfect. I wanted to share with you. Here we go. Where is it? There she is. Okay. So I wanted you guys to remember that, you can go to Startup FIU. We also work with them. You could also come here at Prospera for the services that we were talking about earlier in terms of business consulting, the education. We refer you to wonderful webinars like this one. We invite wonderful people to come speak at them. We are in different areas of Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina. This is my office here in Doral. We have the West Coast in Tampa, Orlando, Atlanta if you're in Georgia, Brookhaven, Raleigh, and Charlotte. So if you see an office that's close to you, please feel free to come by. And of course, social media, digital marketing webinar, please follow us. You'll see me on there every once in a while trying to do my influencer vibe. You'll see us see what events we're in the community. We will see the upcoming seminars. You'll see information about our partners at Miami Beach. You'll see a whole bunch of stuff. And in YouTube, you'll see a lot of client success stories that have been able to work with us and make it to the next level. Okay. And lastly, we have upcoming seminars in August. These are also partnered with Miami Beach. We're going to be talking about with growth strategy analysis, how to analyze where your business is at. We can also use the digital marketing tools we just talked about today and see how we can use those to build a strategy to end up in the next level. And that next level being not necessarily what other people think, but what you want. The business is yours. What you want to be, that point of sufficiency, can be a side gig. It can be a multinational corporation, or it could be just enough to be able to live that life that you've been looking for, hitting your life goals. Okay, so please feel free to register. You can go to prosperausa.org/seminars. You can give us a call. Let me put it in the chat. Give me 1 second. There she is. There's the chat. 786-329-5830. That's the South Florida one. Or you could just go to prosperausa.org and find your region. So these services are available free of charge. Just please take the time to come use them, utilize them. And with that being the case, it's 7:22 p.m. Thank you so much for everybody for coming out. Thank you, Alexis, Startup FIU. Thank you, Mikey, Miami Beach. And I hope you guys all have a good night.
Thank you all. Have a good one.
Good night.